Welcome. So today we are working with a ball. It's a mat work class, Pilates inspired. So all you need is your mat and a small ball, about 9 inches, that you can put some weight on. So we'll get started on the back. Make sure that there's room around you to move your arms and your legs. Take a moment to settle into the mat and spread your body out, spread your back out as wide as possible. We'll keep the ball in the hands in front of the chest. Take a moment to feel the weight of your sacrum in the mat, the weight of your shoulder blades dropping down, and that small lumbar curve. So behind your lower back, there's some space. You could imagine there's enough space for a row of blueberries. And we're going to keep those blueberries intact for this first little bit. So take an inhale into the sides and the backs of your ribs. Feel them expand. And as you exhale, I want you to cinch your waist in, wrap it around the spine like you're shrink wrapping your waist, giving yourself a hug into your midline. Inhale into the sides and backs of the ribs. Expanding. And exhale, hug your waist in, cinching it in. Let's keep moving with this support. Inhale. On your next exhale, keeping the shoulder blades low away from the ears, draw your arms overhead, keeping the ribs connected to the ground. Inhale, bring the arms back up to the ceiling. Totally fine if they don't go all the way down to the floor as your arms come overhead. Exhale. You're just feeling the back of the ribs in the mat and feeling the tone through the waist. Inhaling, lifting. One more time. Exhale, arms overhead as the ribs drop down, connecting into the pelvis. And inhale to lift. Bring your left knee up to tabletop, and we're going to bring the ball up against that thigh with the hands and just find a little bit of pressure in here. So you're using the deep abdominals to stabilize the pelvis, drawing that knee in, taking a few breaths into the sides of the ribs as you feel that power in your center. And we'll gently lower the foot down. Changing sides, lift the right knee, keeping the weight in the center of the sacrum, bring the ball in contact with your thigh, and create a little pressure here. So your knee is pressing against the ball, and the ball is pressing against the knee. So we're warming up our hip flexors and our deep abdominals, keeping the shoulder blades relaxed, low on the back, the neck relaxed, and we'll bring that foot back down to the ground. Inhale. Okay, lifting the head and shoulders, we'll bring the ball now in between the two knees. You can let the arms settle down onto the mat. We'll do a few imprints of the pelvis and then release to neutral. So inhale here. As you exhale, roll your tailbone to the ceiling and your lower back down into the mat so you're squishing those imaginary blueberries. Inhale, release your spine to neutral. Again, as you exhale, hollow in the abdominals, firming them with the sides, your obliques, bringing the lower back down. Inhale, release to neutral. One more time like this. Exhale, imprint, and release to neutral. Inhale. From here, we'll come up into a bridge. So use the deep abdominals to articulate into your imprint, and then we're going to peel the pelvis up one vertebrae at a time. Squeezing the glutes and engaging the waist. Take an inhale here. And roll down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, keeping the bum for last. So really rolling through that lumbar spine and then releasing neutral. Inhale. You could do this with the arms in the air and the hands, palms of the hands facing each other as you roll up. Feel the weight in between the shoulder blades and try to draw the knees over top of the toes. Inhale. Roll down through the spine, squeezing your ball, keeping your bum for last. Exhale. Come on up one more time. Squeeze the ball, roll the hips up. We're going to keep the hips high. Drop just the right hip down towards the mat. Inhale. Exhale, lift it. And then just the left hip will drop down. And then we'll lift. Again, the right drops. Press up and lift. And the left drops. Press up and lift. Drop the right. It's as if you have a pair of jeans on, the back pocket of your jeans just got heavy, and you're going to roll down through the whole right side of your body. So right side of the rib cage, right side of the lower back, right side of the bum to release neutral, inhale. Rock the weight onto that right hip and roll up that right side of the body. Exhale. So you're moving through the vertebrae, the ribs, through the shoulder blade, and center it off, square it off. We'll drop the left hip. Same thing, rolling down the left side of the back. Exhale. Coming to neutral on your inhale. Keep the weight on the left side as you roll up the left side of the body. Square off the hips, center, inhale, and we'll roll down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Exhale, releasing, neutral. Okay, bring the arms down if they were up. We're going to continue articulating the spine here. Squeeze your ball, roll the pelvis up one vertebrae at a time. Now I want you to feel where your tailbone is, your coccyx. Imagine that it's like the nose of a dolphin, and it's diving down towards the water. So you're lowering your tailbone down to the earth, and then we're going to pick it up, sternum, through the mid-back, lower back, pelvis, and roll down through the spine, sternum, upper back, mid-back, lower back, pelvis, back to neutral. Inhale. So roll tailbone to ceiling, up, and then the nose of the dolphin dives down towards the water, keeping an arch in the back, so there's lots of space here, and then I'm picking it up with that arch and rolling it down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. One more time like this, inhale. So squeeze the ball, rolling up. Heavy tailbone drops down. Keep the shoulder blades on the mat, and then lift and roll through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Exhale and release to neutral. Inhale. Good. We're going to take the ball in the hands again. Imprint your pelvis so your lower back is down, and lift the knees up to tabletop one at a time for some femur arcs. So we're using the deep abdominals to keep the lower back down. Inhale. Drop the right foot down towards the mat. Exhale. Don't lose the lower back contact. Inhale to lift. So it might be a very small movement. And then the left foot's dropping down. Exhale and inhale to lift. It's kind of like there's a pool below you, and you're just going to go test the temperature of the water with one toe and then the other. But it's okay if you don't touch the ground. It's more important to keep the integrity of your lower back and your abdominal contraction. If this is going well, you can add the arms coming overhead as one foot lowers. Bring it up, inhale. And other side, arms overhead as the foot lowers. Inhale, up. So the arms and foot reaching away from center as you deepen that abdominal contraction. And change. One more time each side. Change. And change. Keeping the head down now, we're going to change the movement to single leg stretch. So one leg reaches out, exhale, and bend the knee in, inhale, and change. You can bring the pelvis neutral as you do this if that feels supportive for you. It's always beneficial to work in neutral if you have that control, because this is how we go about our days, standing in a neutral spine. Those lower back muscles do need some tone. But if you feel like it's overworking the back, make sure you keep that lower back down. We're going to add a little twist here. So as the left leg lengthens, bring the ball to the outside of the right thigh. So this is just bringing a gentle twist into the ribs. Bend it in, inhale, and other side, exhale. Right leg lengthens, ball comes to the outside of the left knee. Center and change. Keep the weight in the center of the pelvis, so there's no shifting in the pelvis, right or left. You can imagine your pelvis is like a boat on water that's super stable, a really calm lake. Change. Change. One more time each side. Okay, we'll bring the knees in and lower it down one vertebrae, one foot at a time. Sorry. Take a big breath here. Good. We're going to come to side lying, and we're using the ball to help us roll as we stretch our whole side out in this spiral. So I'm on my right side, and my left arm is in front of me on a long diagonal, and I'm drawing my right foot behind me. If this is the first time you're seeing this, I suggest watching a couple repetitions before you give it a try. So I'm supporting my waist. I'm going to draw my left hand forward as I roll the ball forward, and this is turning my sternum towards the earth. And then I'm drawing my foot back, my left foot behind me, as if I was going to roll my pelvis towards the ceiling. This is stretching my hip flexors and getting a twist through my ribs. Again, my fingers reach forward and it turns my sternum towards the floor, and then my foot pulls me back. So if you were just watching, go ahead and give it a try. I'm twisting and creating opposition through my body from my fingertips to the toes on that whole left side of that chain. So as my fingertips pull, my toes follow only by resisting. They come at the very last second. And then the toes pull, the fingers resist, resist, resist. I'm creating more length in that whole line, and then the arm follows. So pulling with the fingertips, eventually toes follow, and then pulling with the toes, eventually hand follows. One more time. Fingers pull and toes pull. Okay, come to side lying. Just let your spine rest for a moment, and then we'll change sides. So you can take your time to roll onto the other side. So lying on your left side, the right hand is up high, and the right foot is reaching behind you. You're going to pull the fingers forward on that right hand, and you're turning your sternum towards the floor. And then the right toes pull you back, and you're opening through the front of the hips. So the abdominals are engaged as we twist. The hand initiates, and then the foot initiates. As the hand pulls, it's bringing your sternum towards the floor. And then as the foot pulls, it's bringing your sacrum towards the floor slightly. Again, hand pulls and foot pulls, keeping the abdominals supported and engaged. Just one more. Hand pulls and foot pulls, and then taking a moment to rest here on your side. And we'll come back onto the back and just let that settle in. It's pretty intense for the hip flexors, the psoas, so just give them a moment. You can even let the knees fall in together and feel the space in the back of the pelvis. So we're going to do a little bit more stability work with the ball underneath the pelvis. You can lift the hips up and place the ball under the sacrum. From here, bring the knees to tabletop, one at a time. You want to feel your shoulders spreading wide in the mat, and your waist is supported. We're going to do double femur arcs. So the toes start reaching down towards the earth together on the exhale. The abdominals are strong, and we'll inhale to lift the knees up. Exhale, 2 feet lower down towards the earth. We stabilize through the waist, feeling that core connection. Inhale to bring them up. So this movement might be very, very small for some, or a little bit more ample for others. It really depends on your ability to control this. If this is too much, you could always just go with your 1 foot at a time femur arcs. Just one more time. Coming back up, we'll come into external rotation. So here my toes are together and my knees are open in a diamond shape. I'm going to flex my feet so my heels touch like a frog. Inhale. Exhale, reach both legs out on a diagonal and point through the toes. Inhale, bend the knees and flex the feet. Into frog. Exhale, reach them long. And inhale to bend. So if you want to challenge your stability, you could bend your elbows and point your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Or if that feels easy for you, reach the hands up to the sky, arms long, keeping the weight in between the shoulder blades and the neck relaxed. Ooh. Again for 2. And 1. Okay, keep the legs long. We're going to bring them into parallel. Maybe bring your arms down for this one. Keeping neutral spine, so you want to feel your tailbone diving down to the earth like that nose of the dolphin, supporting the abs. Open the legs out into a little V, and we're going to circle them away from the face and up. Open, circle, together, and up. So again, this is personal. Maybe you want to just do this with 2 bent knees. That's totally fine. This would be the more gentle version. Very beneficial and a little bit More difficult would be long legs. You have to control more with your core, and you need quite healthy hips to do this. Let's change directions. If you feel any clunking, clicking happening, make the circles a little smaller. Again for 2. And 1. Bring the feet together, bend the knees. We're going to roll the tailbone towards the ceiling and use this to help us pick the pelvis up off the floor a little. You might want to hang on to the ball to make sure it doesn't roll away from you and bring the pelvis back down. So we're accessing those deep lower abdominals to lift and lower. Try to avoid scrunching any muscles in the neck as the pelvis lifts and lowers. Maybe it's just a feeling of taking some weight off the ball slightly. That's totally fine. Just 1 more. This time, take the ball out from underneath you and roll down. Okay, we'll sneak that ball underneath our feet. This is quite challenging for the hamstrings. If you have hamstrings that tend to cramp up, you might want to do this with no ball underneath the feet. We're going to try a bridge again, but this time the ball is underneath the feet, so it's challenging our stability. Rolling into your imprint, roll up 1 vertebrae at a time, opening the top of the hips, inhale, and roll down, exhale, 1 vertebrae at a time. Good, you can press the ball away and bring it back. 1 more time here, inhale, roll through your imprint, press into the ball, roll up. Again, you can challenge your stability by lifting the forearms or maybe the arms up to the ceiling and roll down 1 vertebrae at a time through the center of your spine. And neutral. Great, you can take the ball back in your feet and place it in between the 2 ankles. Okay, knees bent, and in a tabletop position, we'll bring the hands behind the head, elbows at a 45-degree angle, lower back is down in the mat, inhale. Roll the head and shoulders up, bringing the head towards the knees, exhale. Stay here, try to press the back of the head into the hands and release the neck. If it feels okay for you, lengthen the legs long. Otherwise, totally legit to keep the knees bent. We're just going to squeeze the ball with the thighs coming in with the ankles for, again, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep squeezing, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. If you can take the hands off the head, grab the knees with the hands. Inhale here. You're going to exhale and reach the toes to the ceiling, hands to the ceiling. Circle the hands around and grab it in. This is called double leg stretch. Exhale, arms reach up, legs lengthened, and circle it in, keeping the lower back down. If for some reason this is too much for your neck, you could do the same movement with the head and shoulders down. Again, 2 more. And 1 more. We'll take the ball in the hands, bring the feet down. Keep the ball in the right hand, and we'll just open the arms out to the side. We'll bring the knees back up to tabletop. So this is going to be challenging our lower abdominals, our deep abdominals. If you found that very difficult earlier to lift your pelvis, don't worry about it. This is the variation for those of you who want to just work on creating more stability and power in the lower abdominals. So you're keeping the knees together and you're just circling the knees and the shins, drawing the knees to the left, into the tummy, to the right, and away. So everyone can start like this, no matter what level you're at, and then changing directions. So you're rolling around your sacrum and using the lower abdominals to make this happen. If you want a bit more of a challenge, bring your arms a little bit lower. We're going to do a movement called corkscrew. So the knees go over to the right. You're going to come up the right side of the body, switch into the center, move the knees to the left, and then you roll down the left side of the spine. Inhale and roll up the left, knees into the chest, roll down the right. Roll up the right, pass through center, roll down the left. And roll up the left, pass through center, roll down the right. Maybe you can do this with the legs starting to reach a little further away from you, but keep the abs controlling the movement. 1 more time each side. Good, and we'll all come to center, roll down, Place the ball between the knees, grab onto the back of the thighs, head and shoulders come up, and you're going to pull with the back of the thighs to help yourself roll up to sitting. All right, we'll take the ball and bring it behind the lower back. Rounding the lower back backwards here. So you're pressing your lower back into the ball. You can play with what height feels the most supportive for you here. We're stabilizing with the abdominals, and we're going to move the arms. So inhale, bring the right arm overhead and the left arm down towards your pelvis like a scissor. Inhale, center, and change on your exhale. Inhale, center. Arms are scissoring right up, left, down, center, and change. Good. Arms center, inhale. Now open both arms out to the side, exhale. And inhale, bring the arms back to center, keeping the chest wide. Exhale, arms open. Inhale, bring it back. One more time, open, and bring it back. Good. Take a little break if you need. Come up to sitting. Breathe. And we're going to roll back down. Pressing the lower back into the ball. Inhale here. Open just the right arm out to the right now. Exhale, don't twist. Inhale, center. And open just the left arm out to the left. Try not to shift your weight. Inhale, center. Again, just the right. Chest stays wide. And just the left. Keep pressing your lower back into the ball. Inhale, center. Now exhale, two arms will start to reach up overhead. Keep that lower back pressing down. Inhale, arms forward. Again, exhale. Arms come up overhead. Inhale, bring it forward. Two more. And one more. Good. Grab onto the back of the thighs. Help yourself up. Inhale. All right. Bring that ball between the knees. We're going to roll down onto the back completely. This isn't always a reality for everyone, a real possibility. If you have parts of your spine that don't like to roll, I suggest you stop before getting down to the floor or stopping just when you get to that point that doesn't like to roll. Breathe there and come back up. I'll give you an example. So we'll bring the hands behind the thighs, squeeze the knees, chest open, inhale. Roll down, exhale, rounding on your sacrum. Let's say you feel that after this point, you're going to fall a little bit and lose the control. Inhale, and just come back. You can use your hands to help you, keeping a round spine, and then lengthen. Inhale. Those of you who have a little bit more mobility, you can roll down through the spine, squeezing your ball. Come all the way down till the head comes down to the mat. Bring the arms overhead, keeping the ribs connected. Inhale. And then we'll bring the arms up, head, shoulders follow. Press the lower back down as you roll up. And then once you come to sitting, lengthen up, growing tall. Again, rolling down. So going at your own amplitude, your own range of movement, that's going to create change, positive change in your body. Inhale, arms up, head and shoulders lift. We're looking at working on our mobility, where we are at. If we skip any points, all the difficult parts, if we just skip them and bypass them, we're not going to address the parts that don't want to move. So let's give some love to those parts that need a little bit more attention. Arms overhead and roll up. Hold at the most difficult place for you. Breathe, squeeze the ball, and we'll continue to roll up. And sit nice and tall. Okay, let's bring this ball back behind the back, but we're going to bring it a little bit higher so that we're nestling our ribs into it. We're going to add a twist here. So inhale, keep the chest wide. Open the right arm out to the right and follow the movement with the sternum. From here, you can stay or take the shape of the ball, come into an extension. Inhale. Sweep that right arm to the side as you come up. Inhale, center. Same on the left. The left arm's going to open. You twist, sternum turns with. Take the shape of the ball. Inhale. And come up through the side. Exhale to center. Inhaling here, open to the right. Turn the sternum, the eyes. Option to take the shape of the ball. And come up through the side, sweeping that right arm to the side and center. Inhale here. Open the left, twist. Option to take the shape of the ball on your inhale. And come up through center, exhale. You can grab onto the back of the thighs to help you or just roll up. All right, good job. Let's come on to the side with the ball underneath the ribs. So we're going to work on the side body. The hands can be on either side of the head here. Feel your waist strong and engaged. And we can either work with the bottom leg bent, the top leg long, or if you feel like giving yourself more of a challenge, the two legs can be long. So if you look down at your toes, you could see your toes. They're slightly in front of you. Point the top foot, inhale, lift, and exhale, flex and lower. Inhale to point and lift. Exhale to flex and lower. Good, staying strong through the waist. So the leg is lifting from the hip, and we're stabilizing with our deep abdominals, the deep muscles of the lower back, up and lower, and it's just glute med lifting and lowering. Okay, we're going to point the toes, lift the leg, keep stabilizing, trace some circles here. So we want to make them small enough to feel that it's precise. We're isolating the movement in the hip socket, but big enough that it challenges our center. Change directions. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to bring the top foot forward. You can maybe help it forward with that top hand as well. Lift the bottom leg, keeping it parallel, so you're using your adductors to lift the leg, and lower. So you're pointing through the toes, reaching and lifting and lowering. You can imagine that you have 5 glasses of water balanced on your leg. So as you lift, it all stays super stable and long. Lift and lower. Again for 2 and 1. Keep it up. Do some small little circles with this leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change directions for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's release it down. Bend the knees and come on up so that the ball is going to settle underneath our hips. Let's lift the hips up. Bring the ball underneath the greater trochanter. So that's the side of your leg, the side of your hip. And then we'll lower down onto this elbow. So pressing into the floor here, it's nice that we don't have to work too hard because the ball is supporting us. You can feel underneath your armpit and try to wake up the muscles. This is your serratus anterior that stabilizes the shoulder blade into the ribs. Lift up this top leg, foot flexed. This hand can be on the pelvis or behind the head for support. If it's behind the head, you can press the head back into that hand. Kick the leg forward, inhale. Point the toes and reach the leg back from your glutes. So the bum is pulling the leg back, not the lower back. If this is uncomfortable for some reason, you can always do the whole thing just without the ball lying on your side on the floor, supporting your head with your arm. Good, let's do 2 more. And 1. Bring the leg center, and we'll drop it down. Okay, so next level, we're going to bring this ball in between the 2 knees, coming onto the elbow, pressing the hips forward. So I'm drawing my pubic bone up towards my ribs, pressing into the floor, and lifting this top arm up overhead, creating one long line. Squeeze the ball, squeeze the abdominals, press into the floor for 2. And 1. Arm up to the ceiling. We're going to thread the needle. So turn the sternum towards the floor, but don't turn the hips if you can. And open, inhale. 1 more time, thread the needle, sternum towards the floor, but the hips don't move. And inhale to open, lower the pelvis down. Okay, let's change sides. So the ball is coming underneath the ribs. We're lying on the side. Hands are behind the head. Option to lengthen the bottom leg down or to keep the bottom knee bent if you need more stability. Okay, so we're stabilizing with the waist, neutral spine, top leg lifts, inhale, exhale, flex and lower. Inhale, top leg lifts, exhale, flex and lower. See if you can get a little bit broader through your chest, more relaxed. Again for 2. And 1. Good. Lift the leg, staying strong through the waist, circle. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change directions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, bring it down. We're going to take this top leg, bring it forward so you get a bit of a glute stretch at the same time, and you can use the top hand to help you place the leg here. Bringing the bottom leg in line with the body, we're going to lift and lower. Exhale to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. One more time. Lift. So imagine you have 5 glasses of water balanced on that bottom leg. We're tracing some little circles. See if you can circle the leg into the back space to get some of the fibers of glute max to work. 2. 1 other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to relax it. Bringing the ball underneath the hip. Knee is in line with that ball, and we come onto the elbow of this side. The top leg is going to come long. This top arm can be behind the head or on the hip, just to feel that you're stabilizing, and you're pressing into the mat with the bottom arm, trying to wake up serratus anterior, your lats, the whole stabilizing lateral aspect of your torso. So let's lift this top leg up, flex the foot, inhale, kick it forward. So you're just getting that hamstring stretch without bringing the lower back into it. Exhale, point, and reach it back, engaging the glutes. Inhale, flex forward. Exhale, point, reach it back. Inhale, flex forward. Exhale to point, and reach it back. Again, forward and back. One more time. Forward and back. Good, bring it center, release it down. So let's bring this ball in between the 2 knees, giving it a squeeze in, stacking the shoulder right on top of that elbow, and then press the hips up. Top arm can come up. Hold as you squeeze this ball. Keep trying to lift the arch of your body up. Okay, and then we'll lift the top arm high. Inhale. Twist your sternum towards the floor, but without twisting your hips. Threading the needle. Inhale to open. And one more time like this. Twisting like you're threading the needle. Then you're going to open. Inhale. Let the pelvis come down. Good. Swinging the legs around. We're going to come to this first side with the ball between the ankles. Lie on your side with the bottom arm long. Squeeze the ball between the ankles. Engage the legs, the bum, the abdominals. Inhale. And now lift both of your legs up using the side of your waist. Exhale. Inhale to lower. Again, exhale to lift just the legs. Inhale to lower. Lift just the legs. And lower. And just the legs. And lower. Bending the knees. Come on up to sitting. We'll take this ball in the top hand. Okay, your bottom leg is going to go long, and your top knee is bent, so the foot is behind you. We're going to come up onto one hand into a side plank with a little bit more extension and joy in it, joy pose. If this is too much for you, you could opt to just do something on your elbow instead. Okay, so inhale, press into this foot, lift the pelvis up, and we're going to reach up and over with the ball, looking far behind us. Inhale. Keep pressing into this bottom arm, keeping the shoulder blade low away from the neck. We'll lower the pelvis down and bring the ball over top of the knee, getting a nice stretch in that side body. Inhale. Press down into the floor, lift the pelvis up. Gaze lifts, heart opens. Inhale. Joy pose, let the joy in. Exhale, pelvis lowers, shoulder blade stays low. Looking for that offering and stretch on the side body underneath. Inhale. One more time, pressing down and up, lift. Inhale. And lower down through your offering. Exhale. Okay, let's change sides. So we'll lie on the side with the ball in between the ankles. The top arm is long. Inhale here. Exhale to lift both of your legs using the side body and lower. Inhale. Exhale, 2 legs lift and 2 legs lower. Exhaling, 2 legs lift. Inhale, lower. Again for 2. And 1. Good. Lowering down. You can bend the knees, help yourself up onto your side. Take the ball in the top hand. The top leg comes behind. You're on the side of your foot. Hand on the floor, nice and wide. Opening through the chest, pressing down into the floor. Lift the hips. Open the chest. Look back behind you. Inhale. Exhale, lower the pelvis down, but keep pressing into the floor with the bottom hand as you look for a stretch from the side body. Inhale. Again, pressing up. Exhale, lift the hips. Open the heart. Inhale here. And lower down gently. Exhale. Keeping that shoulder blade low, away from the ear. Enjoying that stretch. One more time. Pressing up to lift hips high. Inhale. And we'll lower down in control. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's bend the knees. Come down onto your tummy. Okay, we're going to leave the ball to the side for a moment. On the tummy, for a scarecrow, so your legs are long, your arms are out in a cactus shape, and we're pressing the pubic bone into the mat. We're going to bring the arms into external rotation, so the fingers and the wrists are going to lift, then your elbows are going to lift. So you're engaging the upper back muscles. You can lift your head and shoulders up off the floor. So the chest is coming off the floor. Inhale here. Keep your legs strong. Dive your arms forward. Exhale. Inhale, bend your elbows and lower it down. Exhale. Again, fingers and wrists lift. So you come into external rotation. Then you lift the elbows. Keep the shoulder blades low. Head and shoulders lift. Inhale. Dive your arms forward. Open into your cactus and gently lower. One more time. Wrists lift, elbows follow, head and shoulders. Inhale. Dive your arms forward. Exhale. And bend. Stay here. Maybe you can point through your toes and lift your legs long for 2 more breaths. Maybe you can reach your arms long and we'll lower it gently down. Coming up onto the elbows, the forearms for Sphinx. Taking a nice big breath through the whole front body. We're going to practice swan with the ball. So you can take the ball back and the arms are going to be long. If for some reason your shoulders find this difficult or uncomfortable, you could just continue to do Sphinx on your forearms. Otherwise, left hand is on the center of the ball, right hand is right on top of it. I'm going to look forward, inhale, press your pubic bone into the floor and lift as you draw your abdomen in and up and press down to lower. Again, inhale. Shoulder blades anchored down. We look forward as we draw the ball in. Keep pulling the belly to the spine and lower. Inhale. Lifting the gaze, the heart, sliding the shoulder blades down on the back as we come up and lower. Changing sides, so right hand is on the center of the ball, left hand on top of the right. Inhale. Looking forward, draw the shoulder blades down to roll the ball in towards you, long arms, and come on down. Inhale. Shoulder blades anchored down, looking forward as we lift and lower. And one more time. Lifting the gaze, lowering the shoulder blades, chest and heart shine forward and lower. Okay, leave your ball there. You're going to place your hands on the mat, press your pelvis back, come into a child's pose or puppy's pose so your pelvis is up. We'll tuck the toes under and make our way to a down dog. So you can roll your heels towards the floor, press into the hands, and take a moment here to stretch out the backs of the legs. Rolling through the feet, You might feel like a cat waking up in the morning, pawing at the bed. Bend the knees and lift the heels slightly. Send your sits bones up towards the sky. And then press into your hands so you're creating some telescoping through the shoulders. But think of rolling your triceps down towards the earth so you're getting some external rotation in the shoulder joint. Make sure the rib cage isn't collapsing down, but it's aligned and lifted. Ribs connecting towards the pubic bone, the pelvis. Inhale. From there, start to send your heels down towards the earth. Exhale. A few breaths here. So you should be able to see your arms in front of you in your peripheral vision. Okay, we're going to come forward into a lunge. So draw the right knee in and bring the right foot forward. If you struggle with your knees and would like to stay high for this one, by all means, you could take a high lunge. If you're comfortable in a low runner's lunge, we'll stay here. Left hand is on the floor. We're going to reach the right arm forward, open the chest, and inhale, circle that right arm back behind you. And then the sternum will come to the floor. Exhale. So we're reaching that arm forward, opening the chest as we circle the arm, and hand back towards the floor. One more time, inhale. Arm back and down towards the floor. Exhale. You can make your way back through a downward facing dog. Then we're going to transition to the other side. So you're stepping the left foot forward. Maybe you're working in a high lunge, or maybe you can be lower. And then it's going to be the left arm circling up, and you follow that movement as you spiral through the spine, the ribs, and exhale down center, keeping tone through the abdominals. Moving slowly to feel how you're moving around that axis of your spine. One more giant circle. Taking it all in and down. From here, we'll step the foot back, coming back to our downward facing dog. A few breaths, make it yours. And we'll walk the feet towards the hands. And roll up one vertebrae at a time to stand. Right, in our standing, we'll grab our ball again, bringing the feet wide, and the ball is in between the hands. Just transfer the weight from one foot to the other foot as you bend one knee and the other knee. So this is getting into a little bit of a stretch of the adductors that have worked quite hard today. We're going to trace a figure 8 with this ball. So one arm comes on top and then the other. And I invite you to follow that movement with your spine. And we'll go the other way. Figure 8 the other way, so you're leading with that baby finger. And notice how the hands trade off. One hand on top, and then the other. Taking the ball in the center, we're going to trace some big circles as we draw it down and up. Maybe you want to get a little bit wider with your legs. Feel into your stretchy limits and enjoy pushing that edge. And then other way, up and down. Keeping the ball in the right hand as we go to the right, we'll take a stretch over to the right. Inhale, come back to center, ball in both hands. Then we'll keep it in the left, come over to the left. And center, one more time each side, up, over to the right. And center, and up, over to the left. And center, we'll take the ball in the center, heel toeing the feet together. And we'll finish our practice here. Beautiful work. Keep moving, and I look forward to seeing you next week.